Kwe Walatasi na Niki Bekasen, Tulusi Moyan Tulusi Mato Tulusi Phil, and welcome back to Tanka Impact. Today's episode is going to be bringing in one of our Tanka Fund interns. Over the summer in 2024, Tanka Fund ended up hiring range technician interns who worked closely over a 12-week time frame with our range ecologists as part of our Climate Smart program. They researched rangeland ecology management of buffalo, differences between buffalo and cattle, land stewardship, and traditional ecological knowledge. The interns also selected a specific research topic for their independent projects. Each intern spent several field days in South Dakota in July with the Tanka Fund staff, visiting a research-intensive buffalo ranch in Hermosa, 2 native-owned buffalo ranches in Pine Ridge, and Rosebud reservations. All of these ranches actually participated in the range monitoring exercise as part of the Black Hills and part of the internship process. The internship positions were funded by the USDA Climate Smart grant in partnership with the South Dakota State University, the National Bison Association, and AgSpire, as well as Cedar Tree Foundation. This 5-year project will bring in additional interns each summer, basically for the duration of the grant. And today's guest, we're going to be inviting Skylar Pogue, who is a member of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, works at GP Ranch out of Texas, and is one of our rancher partners as a tech support communication specialist, and plans to obtain a degree in range ecology. She served active duty with the U.S. Navy as information technician specialist, and today we are happy to have her on the show to talk about a little bit about herself and what she learned over this internship. So, Walala and Sky for being here, and, the floor is yours, so to speak.
Hello, everyone. My name is Skylar Pogue. I am a member of the Seminole Nation tribe out of Oklahoma. I currently reside in Sulphur Springs, Texas. And before the internship, I was working as the communication and technical assistant at GP Ranch. I originally signed up to do this internship to get more networking and communication done with other ranches and see how they run their herds.
During your internship, what were your main responsibilities like? Was it like report writing? Did you visit the ranches? Like, what would you say a day to day was for yourself?
So the main responsibility I had going into the internship was conducting a research project on a specific bison topic, which mine was how quality rangeland ecology reflects onto the overall health of bison and how we can keep bison alive and keep it going with the Native American cultures included into it. Other responsibilities I had were working with ranches and web soil survey and other soil tools, and just learning more about the ground and how we can better preserve it.
During your research project, what would you say is something that you really took to? Was there anything new that you learned in there? Because I know that you work obviously on a ranch and you've had a lot of experience in that. What was something new that you learned during your internship that maybe you wouldn't have known otherwise?
So yes, while I do work here on my parents' ranch, I didn't know anything about the soil. My dad's usually the person who says, "Hey, we need to put fertilizer out," or "We need to test this." And I just, "Okay, let's go." But I didn't understand the why behind it or what its purpose was, or how he got a piece of paper and it had all these things on it. And he said, "Okay, we have to do this now." Not knowing the background behind it all and the process for it, and being able to do that with the internship, it opened my eyes up more. Being able to attend certain classes and going to South Dakota for the internship and working with those ranches, I was able to see the why and get hands-on experience, and not just down here, but up there. And it opened my eyes a bit.
So does that piece of paper that your dad carry around have new meaning?
It does, it does. The piece of paper that is a soil sample report, or even hay sample reports. But they I understand what's on the paper now. I understand if there's a high or low protein. I understand if we have low magnesium, low nitrate in the soil. So it's more information for me. Now I can tell them, hey, maybe we should do this. And they'll be like, maybe I think we should. I feel smart now.
That's funny. I love that. That's good. You can speak more to the direct impact that the soil has, and
I
and
can. I feel
one
like
up dad every now and then.
I have power here now. I have a little meaning behind my voice now.
That's good. That's now you and I talked about this while you were down. The feeling of interconnectedness, not just with Tonka Fund and then you guys through that working perspective, but when you think about the connectiveness of the tribe and the impact that we all have on each other, Mitakiase, we're all related. That ethos is really felt, I feel like, in South Dakota. And it's just one of those things that's really important to us, that you feel that when you come to meet us, you come to work with us, and then you get to see the area too, right? Because it was very different from where you're at. I recall you saying so.
Yes. Like you said, we talked about it when when I was there. Excuse me. And then I was thinking about that actually recently because I went to Oklahoma and I drove through I don't know how many different tribes, nations trying to get to where I was going. And you just look around and you don't get that same feeling that I had when I was driving from when we were going from Rapids to Pine Ridge. Like there's an emotional connection you could feel just simply driving. And I don't know if it's maybe living there and being used to it or not having that already like kind of ingrained to you. Um, I didn't get that there. Driving in Oklahoma, it was I'm just going somewhere, but in South Dakota, there most definitely is that deeper connection, the spiritual connection to one, your ancestors, and two, the place you're at, and having that connection with the bison and working with Tonka Fund. It's something that you just carry with you. It's not something you go home at the end of the day and take down. You're like, okay, I don't need to have that connection on anymore. No, it's something it breathes in you, if that makes sense. It makes you excited about wanting to get up and work and helping everyone you can. And
No,
it's definitely something we have down here.
yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a testament to the work that's being done. I think it's a testament to the community building that has happened over the decades that are there.
Yes.
Part of that's Hisapa as well. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think go into building that feeling that you had.
Mhm.
And it's core is the community, right? Like that's really what
Yes.
it is.
And I think that's why I felt it so much in South Dakota because all the different other Native American organizations that we work with and we got to see and meet and hearing what all each one of those ones do and how like the Wombley Scott and how everything that he's involved with. It was it was great to see the community actually working together to better each other. And it's not something you see anywhere else that they're not striving to pull everyone up together as they make it up, if that makes sense.
No, it does absolutely.
Um, I did appreciate though when I had the opportunity to work with Chris with the IT and Salesforce that as long as my work was being maintained and getting done on a timely manner, that I was still able to work and get extra internship knowledge, I guess you could say. So I had a green light for pretty much all things that I wanted to do because most of them fell underneath the range ecology, range technician um, goals. So it was all really good.
And just speak about that a little bit, that program that you're working with Chris. What was that, and what's your current outcome of it?
So working with Chris and Salesforce, I was able to create an app. It's a bison records tracking app. Pretty much you can go in there, add different records for each bison you have, how when they were weighed, what type of vaccines they were given. And I'm hoping to present this tomorrow at our staff meeting. Um, but I'm really excited for it because Salesforce is another cloud application that, or cloud service provider, I should say. And I'm used to working with Microsoft and Azure. That's my background. I had dabbled some in Amazon, but I'm not, that's a different route, not for me. Um, but I've learned a lot and I'm really excited because after I got out of the military, I didn't want to go back into tech. I was like, that is not for me. And to be able to go back into tech a little bit and dabble in Salesforce, I can see how beneficial it is that there isn't a program out there like this that is directly what we're wanting or what we need. And I have an opportunity to work with people and build this.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the difference between each one of those platforms because they are all vastly different. And I think the thing I like about Salesforce, they actually have we're tied to the nonprofit side of it, which is called Dreamforce.
Mhm.
And I like how you speak about like you're building something in it because most people who don't work with Salesforce, who have never seen the program, don't understand the uh, depth it can go. Like it can really go into some
Mhm.
really amazing details so that like anybody could go in and check out. But for example, say you have a buffalo male that's been on the farm for a couple of years and you just wanted to see like the growth of his weight, you could use Salesforce to actually track that. Where you could just like log in on your phone or wherever and be like, well, how heavy is he right now? Is he growing? Is he not growing? Like, you can track all of that,
Yes,
and you can make it
that is
specific
my
to each
goal
one.
is eventually when and if this gets fully pushed out into an application you can download onto your phone is say you're out looking at your animals and one looks you have a bull for an example and he looks a little skinny, a little wormy, and you're not sure what's going on. It's not in the rut season, he's not one of your breeder bulls, and you see his air tag so you can check the different weights he's had over the years, see when the last time he was given any type of medication, if any, um, and being able to just know what type of soil you have and the grass you have, if they're in an overgrazed pasture or what might the issue be. But just being able to have all that information in your hand and say, okay, we need to keep an eye on this one. Or maybe we need to go get the medication and dart him if need be. So that's my goal
No,
because there's
that's a
times
really
we're
cool.
out in our pasture and most ranchers write down all their information, put it in a notebook somewhere, and then have to figure out which notebook it was, where they had it at last. But if they have a central place where they can look at all this information and all the records for that animal, they're able to say, okay, it was this time frame. No, he was just worked a couple months ago. He's fine. Just we'll keep an eye on him. Or to simply put a little star next to his name and say, okay, we need to keep an eye. So that's my end goal.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really notable end goal, and I think that would simplify a lot of the processes. Because as you mentioned, most ranchers do have a journal or a notebook where they're writing down all the information about particular bulls or just buffalo in general, to track and make sure that they're healthy and that they're growing, and that having that power on your phone. Where applicable, because sometimes the phone isn't applicable,
Yes.
but for the most part, it is. I feel like we have a lot of folks out there now who have phones and are more savvy to the technology than they've ever been. Ranchers specifically here, and being able to just like put a little star next to it, it's like, okay, well, I need to come back to this buffalo in a few weeks because we've had some issues health wise, maybe. Let's double check that. Let's go in and just monitor and see what happened. Is he heavier now? Is he acting weird? Is there some symptoms going on that we didn't see a couple weeks back? Like being able to pinpoint that and have
Mhm.
it readily available versus, like you said, sifting through all these old notes in the hope of like finding the book that you probably put on a bench somewhere months ago, and
Yeah.
tracking that. Like I can see how that could get very lost, especially in how hectic things get on a ranch sometimes. This would streamline that a lot. I think it's a really cool idea, and it's using technology, with history. So it's like
Mhm.
I'd be interested to see the end product of that. I think that could be something that can help a lot of people.
I agree.
But, obviously based on your experiences and everything
Mhm.
that happened, would you consider returning to the Tonka Fund for future opportunities? If that's the case, what kind of opportunities would you want to return and do?
Most definitely, if there was an opportunity at Tonka Fund that fit in any type of range with me, I would definitely jump on it without a second guess. Um, Whether it be working under call engineer again, under just a technician role portion, I would love that. Um, if it's under Chris and dealing with IT, I might have to read all the details, not gonna lie, because I don't know if I fully want to jump into IT, even though it's hand in hand with Tonka Fun. I'd have to think about that. But if it's under anyone dealing with bison in general, I would love to because it's what I do here. It's it's something that my heart's now focused towards, just working with bison, working with Native Americans to get, like the logo says, it's working with natives to get bison back to native lands, native people, and native economy. It's a big old circle.
So, I mean, that kind of moves into what I was going to talk about for the final thoughts. Is like I assume
I
that,
always do that.
I will assume that that was probably the most rewarding part of your internship. But obviously, I want to give you the space, is like to think about that. Is like, was that aspect of it really the most rewarding part of your internship experience? Is there anything you'd like to share outside of that about your time here at Tonka Fund? And that's the floor is yours for the remainder of it.
I think that was the most rewarding part was getting to work with Native Americans and pushing them to be better because we are our worst enemy. We see the money or we get into positions where we have this control and then we only think about ourselves. We don't think about the people that pushed us here, the people that got us to those positions. So being able to work with others and get them to be in a better spot than we were yesterday or they were yesterday, it was amazing. It was heartwarming. Um, and I look forward to keep doing that.
I don't think you'll have any problem continuing that pathway. As like, I think you have enough connections and enough ability and drive that you'll make that happen. So,
Well, all in Sky, and again, thank you for coming on our show today and just telling us a little bit about your experience and realistically, what you were able to accomplish over the 12-week internship. We're really happy to have had you as one of our interns, and we were grateful for the knowledge and the stories that you've shared. If you'd like to learn more about what Sky was working on, you can go to www.tonkafund, TANKAFUND.org. And under the What We Do tab, you can go navigate yourself over to the Young Native Leaders Network. There you will be able to see not only Sky's work, but our other interns' work as well. You can go in and see their actual research papers, along with video explanations of what they were able to create for their research paper, and along with their presentations. All of that is accessible directly from the website. So feel free to make your way over there just to learn more about what they were able to accomplish in the short time that they were with us. And of course, while you're there, you can check out other works that we happen to be doing. Thank you for listening today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Tanka Impact.